Keith, just what's this? How do you approach this camp and this competition?
Yeah, it's been a good camp so far. I mean, first 4 days have been super competitive across all the linebacker positions. And, with Skowski and Spector gone, we got to step up and have some more leaders. So for the linebackers and defense as a whole, and I think a lot of us have been trying to do that. We've been doing a good job of it, and just competing, man. I mean, you compete every day, obviously, but with spots to fill, it's very competitive right now, and energy's good. It's good so far. We're doing really good.
Did that go to another level this offseason for you, just knowing that you waited behind James for so long, some of you guys did, and now that spot at the top of the depth chart's vacant? I mean, now it's like you guys can really compete for that now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I kind of hopped down a little bit from Will and Mike when they were here, and obviously you compete every day, but those two guys were obviously some of the best linebackers you could have. So there was a level of it where you kind of knew where your spot was, and when they left, we all knew both spots were open, and day one, everyone's just been trying to compete and put their best foot forward and try and earn that spot.
Are you ready? Go ahead.
How does it kind of feel to be the old man in that room now?
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. You felt kind of like a young guy for so long because those guys were here, but I was a junior last year. I still kind of felt like I was a freshman sometimes because Skowski and Spector were here for so long. But when they left, it was you realize that you got to step up and take in that lead, and I like it. It's good. I've been kind of waiting for them to not to leave, but to have my opportunity to help lead the room, and I've loved it, man. It's been fun. We got a great group of guys too, so it's pretty easy.
There's a lot of talent in that room. I imagine the competitive juices get flowing out there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, we're obviously pulling for everyone to do well. We're a team, so we want everyone to do well, and someone has a good play, we like that. Someone's a bad play, we're coaching them up together. So we know there's gonna be a lot of playing time going around this year, more than years past. So we're all trying to just, we're trying to grade 100 every practice, and if we don't, we all learn from each other's mistakes, and it's more so competitive as a group, as linebackers trying to be the best core in the nation, as opposed to really just going against each other. We're really just focused on ourselves, and as a group trying to improve every day.
So are you repping exclusively at Mike?
Right now I am, yeah. I mean, I play Will, so I know a little bit of both, just in case. You never know what'll happen there. Right now, it's been me and Trot playing Mike, and Vontae and Trent have been playing Will, but Wes has told us, be ready to go anywhere you want to, all 5 of the linebackers. So we're a very knowledgeable group, and I really think anyone can play at any position right now at this point in camp.
Are you getting all the first team reps right now? Or?
We're splitting them up. We go, every other rack we'll go first and second, and it's really on Wes. Coach Wes will make the script before practice, and we'll just we'll kind of go from there. We're usually splitting first and second right now. It's what we did in the spring too, so still kind of figuring out what it's going to be.
So was there something, knowing that you were going to be in the heat of this competition, was there something that you really wanted to focus on this offseason coming into camp?
I wouldn't say something more specifically. I think ever since I've been here, I've been trying to master the playbook as much as I can. And if you want to be out there first or be playing a lot, you got to know it like the back of your hand. And I would say towards the end of last year, I really started to understand it a lot. So just this spring and summer, I did a lot of time just studying the defense as a whole, as opposed to just the linebackers, and really getting an understanding for all the schemes and D-lines and why we do it, as opposed to just what it is. And I think that helps out tremendously when you're out there, kind of understanding why you're doing it and when you're going to do it. So I'm still working on it, obviously, but the goal is to know it as well as coach, and that's just something I kind of have been working on since I've been here. But more specifically, this past spring and summer, I've really been able to understand a lot more and learn a lot quicker.
Have there been a lot of changes for the linebackers under Wes as opposed to Coach Venables?
Not really. No, I mean, we knew that there would probably be a little more playing time. I wouldn't say that was more Coach Venables' thing, because Skowski and Spector were there, and they were exceptional at their position. But it's been a lot of the same. Coach obviously has a different way of coaching and stuff, but for the most part, it's it's about the game, it's about knowledge, it's about situation, and just work hard every day.
Yeah.
Not much really to change.
How comfortable do you feel, I guess, being year 3 or 4 in this defense? How comfortable are you from mentally and playbook, things like that?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Cheese Bowl, I felt really good there. With that, we kind of simplified the defense a little bit with Wes coming in and just kind of putting his own spin on it. But right now, I feel the best I felt since I've been here, which I should, since it's my 4th year. But definitely feel like, obviously there's always room to grow, but I'm feeling really good about the playbook and just being able to run it out there and help people who are kind of lost out there as well.
Yeah. What is the biggest difference, would you say, under Wes?
I think that, obviously Coach V was a very intense person, the way he coached and taught and everything, and I think for some people, they can understand it more. Coach V talked a lot of football terms, and if you didn't understand it, sometimes it might have taken you a little longer to understand what he's trying to say. Wes kind of simplifies the way he talks and explains things, so I think the young guys may have a better opportunity to learn a little bit faster. It wasn't until my third year where I could really, in the meetings, fluently understand exactly what Coach V wants, and when you understand him, you realize how smart he is with everything he does. But Wes coaches a little bit, his speaking terms and the way he communicates with you is a little different. So, not a huge difference, but just a little bit more simplified.
A lot of people have said that, even since the spring, talked about it being simple. Is it just like more layman's terms? Is that Wes is talking?
Yeah, just more. It's almost more scientific. Wes is a very analytical person. So in the playbook, he explains it a lot as numbers and things like that. And I think it's easier when you don't understand all the terms to look at it as like a map or a puzzle almost and kind of fill it in. So I wouldn't say the defense is that more simplified. Just the way he explains it and explains it to you and shows you it on the paper may be a little different, so you can kind of visualize it a little bit more and then go out there and understand what you're doing.
What do you feel like your strengths are? Maybe what do you feel like you need to still do if you're going to put yourself in the best position to win that job?
I think strength. I think I think I've been a pretty good leader on this team. Apart from physical, I think I got the size and everything, but everyone's big and fast here, so that's not really a big part of it. I just think that going out there every day and competing with myself, I think that if I do the best I can, I think I'll put myself in a good position to be there. And just going out there every day with a expectation of what to do, what to expect when I'm out there in the field, and competing with myself. If I do that, I think that'll give me the best shot to go out there and win the job.
How do you feel about where your coverage is? Backs, tight ends.
Pretty good. We've been doing a lot of zone. We're putting in some man. At the Mike, there's a lot less man-to-man coverage than I did at Will. But through the summer, we all did a good job, and we got great backs. So they give us great work. Some of the backs we practice against, you won't really have better route running backs than that with Shipley and Maffa and Pace. So and even our tight ends. We're really, the work we get with them is really good. And sometimes if you lose, you're like, hey man, that's about as good as routing the ball you can get from DJ and all the other quarterbacks. So we're working on that. That's an ever-growing battle, I think, with defenders. You can never be good enough at coverage. So I think we got a good covering back, linebackers, and I think I do pretty well myself.
Are there any of the newcomers, freshmen, that have impressed you on either side of the ball?
Yeah, we got a lot of good freshmen. Specifically our linebackers are good. They're tough. They're fast. They're picking up on it pretty quick, which is good. And they're not afraid to go out there and compete, which you love. A lot of times, sometimes freshmen come in and tiptoe around, but they've been out there they've been giving their best effort, and that's all you can ask from those guys. Really, the whole freshman class has been great so far. Looks good for the future.
What's been your impressions of TJ, there at linebacker?
He's good. He's a physical kid. He's got a lot of high energy, which is great. What you want. Obviously, he's learning. He's competing. With himself to get better a lot. He knows there's a lot of old guys ahead of him, but he goes out there every day like he's trying to win the job as too, which is what you want. And he's great. He brings a lot of energy to the room, and he's gonna be a really good player.
Is he at Mike or Will?
I think he's running Will. Okay. Honestly, when we go over it in the film, we're really talking as a whole. Okay. And whatever the script says, if he's like, hey, go play Will, we'll run out there and play Will, which helps the defense really or as a linebacker core at least, you can just work off each other and both positions. So.
With all the transition there is at the linebacker role, what's the competition been like overall these first 3 days?
Yeah, it's been very competitive. I was competitive every practice, and I think everyone's really trying to be the best version of themselves right now in practice, as opposed to shoot, he just made a tackle, I got to go make two. It's a lot less of that, as opposed to just trying to be the best core that we can be, because we know there's gonna be a lot of playing time, and we want to be the best linebacker group in the nation, and we got a lot to prove, obviously, with a lot of new guys coming into play. But we have a lot of high hopes, and we're competing just to be the best we can.
When you're at your best, what do you bring to the field?
I think I bring experience and leadership. Even though I didn't play as much as Balin and Jamie did, I still learned a lot under them in 3 years. playing with them, and you know, I feel like I can bring that to the field. And I've been waiting to go out there and show what I can do. So just a little bit new bit of energy, you know, a new face and person out there at linebacker with the defense. You know, I think I'm fast and athletic too. I think I can really do everything that Wes needs me to do. I just got to go out there and do it every day to the best I can.
The experience and obviously the on the field production is one thing, but with Scalzi, there was so much leadership there too, just being sort of the heart of that defense for so many years. Is that a component that you feel like you or whoever fills in at that spot is bring as well?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's more of a defensive thing too. You know, I think Jamie had a lot of the spotlight because he was not the sole leader, but you know, everyone really looked at him. And even though there's a lot of leaders in that defense, you know, he definitely had probably the loudest voice out there and everything. So I think the defense as a whole, you know, I think we don't need as much as one singular leader as we are a group, and just hungry as a group to go out there and be the best, you know, defense in the nation. I think everyone in their position, they all kind of lead their position with KJ and Brian and TD and Rook and everyone. You know, the whole D line, they lead each other, they push us, we push them. And as you know, it's not much as one person, which is good. You know, one person has to feel that pressure of going out there and being that big leader, as opposed to everyone just, you know, pushing each other and wanting the best for their position group.
What's the biggest thing that you learned from Scalzi, just watching him, talking to him?
Just the dedication it takes off the field to be good on the field. You know, his anticipation, everything. It doesn't just come natural. And you know, that's one thing I learned. If you look at Jamie, you know, he was in the right position all the time and could expect what was happening. And you know, just watching him, how hard he worked Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, game was Saturday. He was in here 12 o'clock the next day already watching film on, you know, the other team. When I was going there to watch film, the last game he has already watched it, you know. So just the dedication it takes to be, you know, to play at the level that he played at is definitely, you know, something I learned from him. And same with Balin, he was the same way. They taught us a lot about, you know, the importance of film studying, and if you're good in that part, you'll be great on the field too. So that was the biggest thing we learned.
I don't know if anybody's asked you about this, but the Phillies hat that you got from Marcus Harper, can you tell me how that went?
Yeah, that was, I went home, I guess it was a weekend in the summer we had off, and my buddy texted me if I wanted to go to the game, so, you know, we went. He had some good seats right next to the home plate, but the dugout. I didn't have any of my Philly stuff, though, because I wasn't planning on it. It was all here. So I just went to the game. I bought a jersey, a hat, went down there. Bryce wasn't playing, so we were trying to get his attention like early in the game because he was sitting right in the dugout right next to us. He kind of gave us a head nod early, and we were like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then like inning set, it was like later in the game. We were down 2-0, I think, or something. So we were kind of just sitting there like, And then my buddy was like, yo, I think someone knows you in the dugout, because they were trying to get our attention. And I was like, I don't think anyone knows me in the Phillies. So I looked over, and my buddy Gavin, who invited me to the game, he was the closest one. He was like, hey, Bryce wants your hat. So I was like, okay. So I took it off, threw it to him, and I didn't think he was giving me anything in return. I was like, you can take it. I don't know. It was like $25. I got it that day at the stadium. I didn't just get a new one. It's Bryce Harper. I'm not going to say no. And he threw back a hat to me. I was like, oh, that's cool. I looked, it was signed. I was like, yeah. So it turned out to be a pretty cool thing. It just was a random thing that happened. And, kind of lucky. Yeah.
He signed the hat you threw to him?
He gave me the hat that was on his head. Yeah, he took his hat off, signed
okay.
it, and threw it to me.
Do you know how he knew you or recognized you?
No, I don't think he knew me. I just think he saw the hat and he was like, I like the hat, and took it. No, he definitely doesn't know me, but it'd be pretty cool if he did. But no, I think he just liked the hat I got, and I would like it too. It was pretty good. That's why I got it that day. Yeah, it was just a random kind of cool experience that happened.
Yeah. Safe to assume you grew up a big Phillies fan?
Yeah, I grew up like 10 minutes outside the area, so big Eagles, Phillies, everything. All Philly sports, I'm a big fan of.
Geno's or Pats?
Oh, neither. That's the poorest stuff. That I don't like. I mean, they're good. They're good. I'm a big Dalsandro's or John's Roast Pork. That's my pick. If you're ever going to Philly, which one was to go to?
I guess, like, do you know about Jeremy's dad? Like, was he
no, absolutely. I mean, I was younger when he played in the Eagles, but obviously my dad, he's one of the best Eagles linebackers I've ever had. So I definitely knew. Everyone in Philly knows the name Trotter. So it was cool. And I followed him in high school. Our high school used to be big rivals. So, you know, I kind of knew about him. My brother played at my high school, so obviously you know all the good players in the area. So I was kind of following him through his recruiting process. It was cool when he committed here, because at the time I was the only Philadelphia area kid up there. So it was cool to get another guy down here.
Your teams never played against each other?
We did. We played, not when he was there. When I was there, like when DeAndre Swift played at St. Joe's Prep, I played him my freshman year. Then I think my sophomore year was the last year we played them. So it had been before Chalk got there. They wound up playing more national schedule games. So.
How did you escape the clutches of Penn State or linebacker? Or did they not offer?
No, they were offering me. No, I had a lot of Big Ten offers, not them though. So I kind of wrote them off pretty early in the process. I don't think I would have been there anyway though. Clemson was pretty attractive.
You just liked what you saw here?
Yeah, no, I mean, how can you not? I wanted to go down south, sure.
Right.
And I was really between here, Ohio State, and Notre Dame, but Clemson was, came down here and it was pretty sold once the first time I came down here. It was pretty easy. It wouldn't really matter who offered me.
So why did you want to come south specifically?
Just wanted to experience different culture. Okay. I've been, I was in the north. I went to Catholic my whole life, and Notre Dame, it's great, everything, but I kind of wanted to switch it up a little bit. And I mean, I know I never really thought I'd be at Clemson, but when I got the offer, obviously I came down here. And, like I said, nothing much to it. It was really, come to Clemson. A lot of people want to come here, obviously. That's why they get the best players.
Yeah. So what do you think about the South?
I like it. I'm glad I came down. It's been a great experience.
I guess you may have been already asked about this with Jeremiah, but obviously, again, his dad played linebacker in the NFL.
Yeah.
I know West Open's talking about he just sees it.
Yeah.
I mean, can you tell that he's advanced for this offense?
No, yeah, definitely. I mean, he came in as a freshman. He kind of picked up on the playbook pretty easily, easier than most freshmen do, and you could tell that, he's a natural playing linebacker, and I'm sure that his dad, taught him. Looks like he, gave him some good pointers, obviously, and but Jeremiah, he's a great linebacker himself. I think that even if his dad wasn't an all-pro linebacker, I think he'd be great either way. So, but he's great. You could tell. You could definitely tell that there's some all-pro in that family for sure.
I forgot what Jeremiah's numbers were, but his tackles to snaps last year were just like a remarkably high percentage of his snaps for tackles. What do you chalk that up to? Just instinctiveness?
Yeah, I think just playing football. He's a great football player, and I think any linebacker really, when you go out there, maybe if you don't know the defense that well, you kind of go out there and play instinctively and just try and find the ball. And he's a ball. He was out there tackling. He was just flying around, having fun, playing football. And, it's good to see a freshman come in there. Sometimes you lose your confidence. He came out here day one. He looked good. He was flying around, and obviously he's here for a reason too. He's a big crew. He's a great linebacker, and I would say just him playing football, being who he is out there, is probably what led to most of his tackles.
What do you think will distinguish this linebacking core as a whole this year?
I just think the selfishness of us and the leadership that we all have. I think we all want the best really for each other and wanting to be the best linebacker core together. It's not like one person's out there, trying to go and win the the Buckus Award, and he's like, screw you, I'm going to do me. We're all out there really working hard together, and I think that'll show, when it's the third, fourth quarter and we're still rotating in and out and we're fresh and, we're helping each other out and doing everything like that. I think that's going to show a lot, especially later in the season, because, it's not going to be a one-man show. It's not going to be two linebackers. It's going to be a whole core working together, and I think we're really working for that and working together to really get that, relationships and cohesion down. So when we're out there, it's just seamless in and out.
Faster crowd on the sideline than last year?
Yeah, I mean, Balin and Skowski were pretty good with that, but I think there's a lot of athleticism out there. I think we definitely have a fast group, big, just a very athletic group we have. There's not any, meatheads you would call out there. We're very instinctive, I think, as a group, and definitely sideline to sideline you'll see coverage. I just think you see a very athletic and knowledgeable group out there that really looks like they know what they're doing, and it's just masters of the game.
You may have addressed this again already, but Monte was talking about you and him are just veterans in the room.
Yeah.
You had to step up and believe in the younger guys.
Yeah.
In terms of what you learned from Balin and Skowski, what have you tried to apply to this yourself?
Yeah, I said earlier, just to work outside of the field. Everyone on the field, they want to work hard. They know what it takes. And if they don't, obviously we coach them up as we go, especially some of the freshmen. But for the most part, those guys come in here wanting to work hard every day. What we try to instill is, all the work that we have to be outside of the field, in the film room, and the recovery, and in the weight room, and because that's as much as a part out there as it is, playing on the field. So, getting up in the film room, watching film, doing the install on our own, is apart from when we meet with coach. Is so important to your success on the field. That's what we've been trying to instill, because Jamie and Balin definitely instilled that in us when we first got here, and pays dividends when you're on the field.
I think Monte was saying there's a group chat, and you guys get here 7:45.
Yeah. So whenever skills and drills in the summer. We're up there texting an hour early. We're up there watching film. Workouts, we're in there early. We do extra stuff, and we just like to push each other too. If one guy's up there, well, shoot, I want to go get, work with him too. I want to go get what he's getting, and so the drive that singular person has can also drive the group, and we just kind of feed into each other. Some days, some guy might not feel like doing it, but they might see the other guy doing it and be like, you know what, I'm gonna work like him and do what he's doing. So we just continually drive each other, workouts, film, on the field, everything.
Back to the all-important cheesesteak question.
Yeah.
Cheese whiz, provolone?
I'm an American guy.
American cheese?
Yeah, American cheese, plain. I'm a plain American cheese, nothing. My brother.
How about peppers and onions?
No. I'm plain. I know. I'm a plain. My brother's a big peppers and onions and whiz guy, but I'm a plain. I'm plain cheesesteak, American cheese. A little extra cheese too sometimes.
And what were your two favorite places?
Del Sandro's and John's Roast Pork.
John's
Roast pork. Yeah. Yes, sir.
They're both in Philly?
Yeah, South Philly.
I guess do you and Jeremiah agree on these things?
I don't know. I've never asked him, honestly. I don't know. I haven't asked him. I guess I'm going to have to after this. So we'll see. I'm going to have a little debate in the group chat after this about what's going on.
Cool.
All good?
What speaks difference schematically in this defense compared to Coach V's?
I mean, not a whole lot. Still an aggressive and now detailed defense. Just a little different here or there, little tweaks that Coach West put on. But overall, you're still going to see a very aggressive and knowledgeable defense out there flying around and making plays, sacks, tackles for loss. You'll see a lot of that this year. You won't see much fall off there. So, not much different there. Just a little bit of tweaks that Coach put on that a lot of us can get behind, and it's paying off. We like what we're doing in practice right now.
Safe to say it's simplified?
Not simplified as a defense schematically wise, just kind of the way he talks to us and explains stuff. Kind of simplifies it that way for you, but the defense is still very much a complex defense in the way we can check and change things, and he's not a dummy, and he knows that you need to have different defense to different groups that can run out there and compete with different offenses. So he's very smart, and I'm sure that there won't be an offense that we can't scheme for differently, just the same as Coach V did.
When you have as many versatile guys in this defense who can move around, Barrett Carter, McGuire, Trent, across the board.
Yeah.
What type of luxury does that give you when you show one thing one week and then the next you can unveil something that's not been on film?
Yeah, it shows a lot. I think it shows to the people, all the guys out there that prepare to learn multiple positions. That makes it easy for them to move around. And, it's not as much athleticism as known. You can be out there and be fast, and if you don't know what you're doing, you can give up a big play. So it's more so the commitment of the guys learning what to do, learning the defense, learning the different positions in the defense, so that if we're putting in a package this week, we can turn around and go to a different package next week, and it'll be a seamless transition between the two. But it helps out, definitely having guys that can play multiple positions and move around the field. Definitely helps out with that, and it'll pay dividends this year as well.
Thank you so much.
Awesome.